Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we are back with your dreams and my memes. And we'll start with a message from Alm. Wits and swords are as straws against the wisdom of the darkness. Well, I took a big gamble and lost. If I had stuck to my original plan, moving everyone to 48, while sneaking a stealthy raiding force to our west, I'd still be sitting pretty. I knew it was probably a bait, but what kind of barbarian would I be to not charge in head first? I mean, besides alive. Message for those of you who forgot. Alm had that huge battle with Lanka. If you missed it last turn, go back and watch it. It was a pretty sick battle. If I'd stuck to my original plan, okay, we already read that. Message from Ubar. My guys like to run. I do not like that. I make fire hats. Okay. Cool. We're gonna probably speed through some of these here because this doesn't look like a super high. Oh man, Pangea casting Call of the Wild. The Pangean Resistance Front that must be being cast out of this fort, which is under siege. And then a Great Hawk attack failed here, and then Pangea gets attacked by Indies here, but manages to hold them off. Baratos raiding outwards. Coming over to Ubar. Let's go check those guys out. Well, let's go in an orderly fashion here. Tienchi, anything happening? I believe this was... Oh no, they catch a Kalem scout here. Otherwise, not a lot of action. Tienchi should have pushed for this fort, I think. And that's that. Coming over to Abyssia. We'll raid here. All right, so let's see what happened here. So here was where the big battle was last turn. Ulm sent the scout in with the hopes of maybe killing maybe a lone PD or something. And, you know, a lot of times after a big battle, people are going to run. You know, there's going to be units who have retreated. And we can see a few of them getting cleaned up here. You know, no commander to lead them out. And Lanka picks up their big force and moves it over this way. Ulm has consolidated his forces here, so it's possible Ulm would have had another bump against this army and may or may not have won. Probably would have won, is my guess, actually, if this Lankan army moved here. But Ulm can only really go to one province at a time, so he's got to kind of correctly anticipate where Lanka is going to move. And this also is a pretty valuable province, so if left between which of these do you defend, he chooses this one. Say these are very close to the Ulm Lanka area. Yeah, so I think that's it. Coming down to Abyssia, okay, just take... Where are the burning ones? They're here. Uh-oh, it looks like they're about to attack Ulm. This looks like a Abyssian... Oh yeah, he's going to attack Ulm, guys. This is Abyssia lining up the troops to go after these dudes. All right, coming over to Helheim and Ubar. Well, let's do Ubar first. So Ubar... Oh god. A few brave men. I like that he's got the Horites here. It's kind of cool. Don't know if they're going to be sufficient versus 3 Shaitan. I mean, 3 Sultan. Does he have undead leadership? No. But he is turning these guys into little soulless dudes. Oh man. He's just chopping these Melkorts to pieces. Did these Melkorts have gear? Oh, this one's got a great sword of sharpness, but is he running yet? He's running. Oh man, Grippa's gonna actually have items on his dude now if he steals that great sword of sharpness. Through the power of Hinnom forging, we will arm these sultans. And he's on Hinnom's capital. Pretty significant. But Hinnom raiding. So Grippa, we need your siege train. Where is it, bro? All those gen who've been dying, they are much needed now. So, there's still... I mean, Hinnom still has 2 more forts than Ubar does that are unsieged. So every turn that goes by isn't necessarily in the favor of Ubar, just because Hinam can be making a lot of stuff. Hinam's cap being under siege and him losing 2 Melkorts here is a big deal, because that may mean Hinam's out of the Melkort game, and if they're out of the Melkort game, it's going to be tough for them to kill these Sultan. So that's pretty important. For Helheim, no action over here, but in former, in Helheim land, because this is the former Mictlan land. Did he take this throne? No, they got attacked by villains. And the Raven of the Underworld is here. So yeah, not a ton of action except Helheim's piling up on... Oh, he takes this from TNN. 35 Hellherdings. And he puts his fort under siege. Presumably all these guys are coming out over here. Tienchi no longer has enough stuff to like really threaten these. Calum has been busy trying to put down the elf insurgency. And here he runs into an Ivy King. Loses a bunch of Spirehorn warriors. He's got some Kavi archers in this, so let's watch that one more time. I think these are the Kavi archers. Nope, these are. Ones with the little speckled orange outfits. Woo, buddy. Look at these short bows. Solar weapons, withering weapons, frost weapons, and poison weapons. Yeah, and solar weapons is fire damage on some of these guys too. So, very cool. Otherwise, there's not really much TNN stuff left to kill. There's just this one fort down here. So I wonder if Calum's going to go for a throne soon, because it doesn't seem like there's too much else for them to do at the moment. They could pick another war. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn, which is turn 28. And we get another message from Ubar. Hey, finally. Now I have to learn how to siege shit down, or something, I don't know. Yeah, Grippa. This is the consequence of winning your first wars. You must have siege chaff. I don't know if there's too much here worth talking about. We'll take a look at Lanka at least. It's kind of interesting. A few good sacreds. The other question, of course, is Abyssia backstabbing Ulm? Ooh, Ulm wins that bump. Pretty nice PD dump here. It's a nice little defensive move. Okay. Let's take a look at Ubar. So he's got most of the forts under siege now. I don't know why Hinam's patrolling with these guys. If you know Sultan are coming, there's nothing these guys are going to do. They'd be better off trying to raid surrounding land. But I guess you don't know what you're going to fight there either. But we do see the beginnings of a siege train moving in. A Sultan here with some Jin warriors, some Desert warriors, and some Ifrit warriors. Now, Ifrit warriors are the big size 4 or 5 sacreds. So, that's happening. Is Abyssia attacking? No, Abyssia is not attacking Ulm. But they are still positioned on the border. He's moved important... Oh, he's taking these Atlanteans and going for this. Okay. But I think that's basically it. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. We're going to speed through some of these to get to the juicy parts. All right, we've got turn 29 now. So we get a message from Abyssia. Potentially amusing is 153. I'm trying to patrol out some demons with the Bane Venom Charm. Abyssians are terrible at patrolling, so it might not happen this turn. The Atlanteans are great at patrolling, but can catch fire and are terrible in combat, as demonstrating by losing to the Kalulu several times. Or the Kalulululus several times. The PD is also a bad PD type. I have something like 13 alquils and my research is still terrible. But the Throne of Knowledge was an awesome catch. The Lore Masters could potentially break me into death if I can afford them at some point, which is something I would really want to do. I also site searched a random province that has alchemists. I don't know if it's worth building the library to then turn a bunch of fire gems into gold. But I don't have too much to spend fire gems on until I get Construction 6, which isn't happening anytime soon. Interesting. Message from Pangea. Today I learned that Seduction can't steal sieging commanders into a fort under siege. Good to know, though I'm very, very dead. 'Tis been fun. So, Sergeant Flintlock, the rule is actually if you don't own an adjacent province, you can't seduce. So, one way if you're fighting Pangea and you're worried about dryads in a fort is you raid every single province around the fort and then they can't seduce you. So, that's potentially important. I'm looking forward to seeing the game play out on the channel. Well, cool. And a message from Ubar. Phantasmal Warriors saving the day. Yahoo. Oh, Tienchi Attacks Lanka. Now, this is very spicy. We weren't really paying attention to troop movements last turn. But Tienchi has launched a full assault on Lanka, which is very bad news for Lanka because it was looking like they were about to take the day against Ulm. A 4-front attack by Tienchi. And if you know, some of you may have forgotten, but Tienchi has all of the weapons. They also have some resistances, so they might kind of work okay against, like, Fire Shield won't be as horrible. It's still going to be bad, I think. Because they don't have much protection and they're low-length weapons. I don't know. And, like, Shocked Body won't do quite as much because they've got some shock resistance. I don't know. I don't know how they do against the Lankan stack. But the pressure's on now. Does Tienchi have a lot of reinforcements? They get attacked by barbs here, but hold them off. They've got some, but not a ton. There's a pile in the capital. I don't know if this army... It's only 18 warriors. It's 100 archers. The archers are pretty good against these guys, but they do have shields. Yeah, I think Tienchi can win this. But it's going to be tight. It's not a clear-cut thing. The main problem Lanka has isn't really just Tienchi attacking him. It's that Ulm, who appeared to have been down for the count, has done a major reinforcement. They've got Great Bears. They've got a pile of Long Dead. They've just been spending their gems getting troops, which I think is a great move for them in this case. And that's kind of what they're going to need to fight Lanka, is not just like their few elite sacreds. They need a lot of chaff. So, pretty interesting. Lanka's a bit on the ropes at the moment. Coming down to Abyssia not making a move. Hasn't gone on this. We've looked at Ulm. Ubar, a Melkort rides out here. Presumably kitted to deal with this exact situation. But no items. And I don't think there's any gems on these guys. It looks like he's just breaking siege. I don't think there's anything here that's going to have much to say. He is trying to do Tangle Vines. Oh, but he's jumped to the back. So he is casting Tangle Vines on this guy, which is potentially very nice. Somehow this guy got profuse bleeding, though, which is very unfortunate. He's toast now. There's a very angry Ifrit Sultan. Oh, we have our first Shaitan. So there's a Shaitan over here. Sultan comes over here. So yeah, there's basically nothing left of Hinnom. Hinnom is pinned into their forts now with one exception. Grippa really putting the screws on. Helheim hanging out over here. They moved everything indeed over to this fort. They've got a lot of Indies that have been attacking them, though. But interestingly, they killed the commander here of the PD, so the PD ran. But all the Dryads are dead. So the Vinemen, they just have to attack this with like a scout, and they would win this. But yeah, this fort's under siege. Calum, they have finished the Elf Inquisition. And, oh, what is this? Wait, I think they both got it this turn. Was conquered by Pangea, was conquered by Calum. All right, so Calum took this turn. And, okay, this is important. So the Baratos Bless is not very good against Calum because Baratos has Ethereal. Doesn't matter against birds because birds have magic weapons. Oh, and then these guys land in conjunction with some air elementals. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. So this was a planned bump. He had the mages loaded up with air gems. Oh gosh, and Pangea's god has come back. He summoned the god back, and the god has come here and hit PD. Oh gosh. The cushy Baratos position. It just seemed like Baratos had things locked down. They had already taken Pangea's cap. Nothing to worry about. All of a sudden, there's 200 birds knocking on their door or more with size 5 air element or size 6 air elementals. And kind of, I don't want to say the perfect counter to their build because Fire Shield will still work against birds. But, you know, birds have at least long, pointy sticks that take reduced damage from Fire Shield. But the ethereal part, which is, you know, the bigger part of the bless, isn't going to work at all. And I don't think Baratosian troops are going to love being pelted by those arrows from the Kavi archers that have all those weapon attacks on them. It's just not going to be fun. So very desperate times now it's looking like for Baratos. Maybe not existential, because it's not clear Calum's going to go after their cap. But it's looking pretty spooky. Okay, Tienchi. We've already covered they're attacking Lanka. Bissia we've covered. Baratos, yikes. Okay, anything else to cover? Helheim, I don't think there's anything to talk about here. I think we've covered it all. Let's do one more turn, and then we'll call it for this episode. We're going to do turn 30. All right, in turn 30, message has arrived from Calum. Lost half my population to a plague in my cap, but hey, at least I feel good now for picking luck in all my other games. Sorry, buddy. I just realized I got a lizard shaman from the province I bumped Baratos in. Bumped. That's my only astral access outside of Cynocephalian shamans. Let's see if he wants to start a war for it. No message from Baratos. Damn, Ysir went ham on that Melkort. Even with those mages supporting him. I think that's the last Melkort, so I can breathe a bit easier now and continue sieging things down. Aren't you happy I used a Shaitan to take a province like that? I bet it made you all tingly inside. Yeah, that's cool. I had no one else to take the province with, and I couldn't find any commanders to yoink. So I made him earn his ridiculous paycheck. Yeah, they do cost a lot of upkeep. Ubar's pretty strong. Yeah. Though you have been a little lucky. Hinham, while he has done some great sorts of sharpness and stuff, even stuff just like a stacking attack a bit more can be a pretty big deal. And then fluffing helps a lot too. But yeah, no, it's been super fun to watch. And Ubar is pretty strong. The Vola running around, some Van Jarls. It's actually pretty high losses. I mean, Ivy Kings are no joke. They cast a ton of Swarm. And Vine Ogres take a long time to kill. And then Sleep Clouds. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What are you gonna do? So we have Caleb indeed going on one of the thrones here. Lightning bolts coming down. I believe everybody's blessed now. So we may see some effects on this next round of arrows. Yeah, you can see some poison arrows. Some people getting caught on fire. A few people decayed. Lightning bolts coming down. Question is, will there be anything left to fight? The Ronin have not yet routed, but I have a feeling they're going to shortly. And then these guys jumping in the back line. Yep. Probably a little bit of friendly fire from the archers here. So loses 36 Firehorn, which is, you know, acceptable losses, and one of the Seraphines. We have Tienchi attacking Lanka here. This is a primarily mercenary army. Lankan Sacred's not going to love fighting the Wet Ones. Oh, except they rout them. That's always nice. Because the Wet Ones hit hard enough, they actually will kill them. And Lankan Sacreds, they have okay defense, but it's not amazing. That's pretty good. They've got a lot of stars. Loses 4 Insura, but manages to repel the attack with a pretty minimal force. So very good on Lanka. Let's go take a look at them. So Tienchi did not advance with the main army, but advanced with the side armies. And didn't ping this province. It looks like he was expecting that Lanka might move here to defend. And unfortunately for him, he didn't see what Lanka actually moved to defend with. So, tough questions for Tienchi. Do they consolidate everything here? Do they consolidate here? I think Tienchi is going to need all this stuff. And Lanka's only got one fort, so they can just slow pressure him from both sides. That seems like maybe the easier thing to do. I wouldn't really want to run this stack into Lanka. But all in all, he's up 2 more provinces this turn. He lost his mercs, but that's not a huge deal. And yeah, I think things are kind of okay. The question is, if Roussia can give him a black eye, like there's an argument that Lanka should attack into this just to get Tienchi out of the war. There's a ton of risk doing that. But if they can get Tienchi to back out with some reasonable, maybe like return to pre-war borders, or even giving Tienchi a province or two, that'll allow them to try to take Ulm out. The other option is maybe Ulm wants to go mess with somebody else. So, we're not sure. Abyssia not moving out this turn. Abyssia is so strong early. I feel like Abyssia needs to be making some plays here. Just Burning Ones are so good. I mean, their Bless isn't... It's H bonus hit points and larger, and with a dormant region, or imprisoned region. So once the region comes online, the Burning Ones are going to be even better. But they're still plenty good right now. All right, coming over to, we've seen Ubar, we've seen Helheim, we've seen Hinnom. Kalem, now they're getting wrecked by Indies here. Indies just keeping all of their forts locked down. This is the throne they went after, and this is the province that has lizards in it. Baratos is now in control of Pangaea's cap again, with the Vola moving off. But yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to want to pick a war with the birds. So what looked to me like a unavoidable war with the birds, like I was pretty sure the birds were going to jump all up over Baratos this turn. Instead, they went and took a shot at this throne, and they get the Throne of Earth, which is really nice for Kalem. They love reinvigoration on Eagle Kings. And then the nature paths are certainly welcome on these gnomes as well. So, yeah, that is that. And I believe that will bring us to the end of this episode. So tune in next time. We're going to keep going through these turns pretty quickly, basically until we see some really cool battles. But we'll be covering the diplomacy and stuff. I'm just not going to... We're not going to wring our hands as much since it's more of a fun game. And we want to see some cool battles. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until then, take care.